The LA Lakers are truly cooking this offseason. The fake news has been put to rest. Don't keep LeBron James is not getting traded anywhere. I told you this was all fake news. He was never ever not gonna play an eighth season with the Lakers. He is gonna be at training camp with the LA Lakers at their training facility. I think they've addressed everything they've needed to address this offseason. They've got a replacement for DFS who can actually create his own shot because DFS could knock down his wide open 3-point shots, but he wasn't particularly good at creating his own shots. So LaRavia, from the highlights, he knows how to create his own shots. He's not a wide open spot down shooter, but he knows how to create his opportunities, and his defense is underrated. And so people who say LaRavia don't play any defense, he plays defense. And one of my mates told me, you could tell he was not a casual whatsoever. He was like, hey, LaRavia, he's good. He's good. Because you're not going to know LaRavia is good if you're a casual. If you're not a casual, you really study the players around the league, that LaRavia is a baller. And now the Grizzlies underestimated him, obviously, but the Sacramento Kings did want to keep him, but playing for a championship and playing for the City of Angels, no brainer to join the Lakers, despite Sacramento wanting to keep the player. But this was smart management when DFS rots his career and loves his money. You have one guy out there. They had one guy in mind that they already were going to replace for DFS. So I really like that on the Lakers' part. You think about LaRavia, when you think about Dalton Etch and Reeves and Luca, you think about white supremacy, Donald Trump. These are the rituals. And we are in a negative GDP growth for the last quarter. So it takes 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Then the definition of recession is met. And the Lakers have won the championship through almost every recession in the past 60 years that we've had recessions. Even in 1953, they won the title after a 1953 recession. Even after a recession in the 1980s, the Lakers won the championship throughout the dot-com bubble, the Great Recession, the COVID recession. The Lakers have won titles. So we already know it's a no-brainer. The symbolism of the purple and gold has to do with royalty. I didn't really break down the royalty part, but basically what the gold symbolizes is the fact that billionaires get really rich off of recessions. That's what the gold of the LA Lakers represents. When you hear this Donald Trump talk about Gilded Age, he is not talking about the average person. He's talking about the top 1% in the millionaire, billionaire class. So there is symbolism with the Lakers logo that is going to tie into the current power structure of white supremacy and the coming economic crash. And you think about Taco Man, he at some point he's going to bulk and he's not going to buff his tariff talk. He is sick and tired of being called Taco Man. Trump always chickens out, a term coined by Financial Times analyst who said that they always bluff when countries threaten them. I mean, I don't think he's really chickening it out. I just think he's just gaming the market, right? Right before he announces, the tariffs are no longer or I'm going to back off of the tariffs. Basically, what the billionaires are is they're buying shares before Trump makes these announcements, and then their share goes up right after the announcement that the tariffs are I'm going to delay the tariffs, and the stock price goes up. So it's all manipulative insider trading. It's insider trading that's going on with these back and forth tariff talks. It's all short gaming the market. So that's basically what's happening right now. With all this recession, billionaires get richer, uh, garbage happening right now, um, really around the world. But the Lakers got a very young 26-year-old center. He's very athletic for these lobs. He's hungry. He's motivated. He wants a better contract. Yes, he's getting paid a lot of money because of the Portland buyout. But what's the deal? 6 million or 8 million per year. He's going to want a bigger deal, right? He has a player option after the year, so he can join another team in free agency if he does well, or the Lakers can resign him to a bigger deal to be DeAndre Ayton's sidekick for years to come. And I think the latter is going to happen. He hates the loser Phoenix Suns. He would love to win a championship in a Lakers uniform to rub it in to the entire front office of the loser Phoenix Suns because he wanted the Supermax, and the Suns weren't going to give him the Supermax, and basically Ayton was done with Phoenix because they wouldn't give him the Supermax deal. So Ayton hates the loser Phoenix Suns, and he would love to get back at the loser Phoenix Suns. Dalton not just struggling in the summer league. Is his confidence really shot? Or he's just looking at it like, I'm on an NBA roster. Why the hell am I playing in this fucking NBA summer league? He's a better wide open shooter than Marcus Smart. So I think you got to keep this guy because when he has wide open shots, he has a better 3-point percentage. So I don't think they got to trade him, but unlike Jake LaRavia, he can't really create his own shot. Dalton Nets, right? That's the one weakness is he can't create his own shots, but he's good for hitting wide open shots. So what is that? 6 white players on the Lakers. In the video, I forgot to include Dalton Nets. I mean, yeah, thanks a lot, JJ Redick. He should have played the guy against the T-Wolves. That's not good, destroying the confidence. Trump done, I agree. Through heart attack or through 25th Amendment, give it 12 months and Big Tech's going to have J.D. Vance in as president. So, yep. All this retirement talk, again, my view is that if he were to retire, he's going to make the decision before the start of the season. So I think the announcement's going to come before the start of next season, not the upcoming following season, but the next season after that. And Marcus Smart, you see, just like how DeAndre Ayton's motivated to prove the loser Phoenix Suns wrong and to play for a new contract and all this, Marcus Smart missed out on the championship with the Celtics. So this guy, Celtics said he's not on the trade block. And then Marcus Smart gets traded. Then right there, he found out that, there's no loyalty, these rivalries. When he got traded to Memphis, Marcus Smart pretty much found out that this really is a business at the end of the day. And so there's no loyalty to Boston or any of that. He missed out on the championship with the Celtics. And this brother, Marcus Smart, he's motivated to win the championship. He thought he's going to stay and get that championship in Boston, but you see, on the LA Lakers, he's going to get that opportunity, and this guy is prime motivated to win a championship. And that's the perfect ingredient for the Marcus Smart deal. And basically how this relates to Jared Vanderbilt is he's very weak offensively, and Jared Vanderbilt should only play when the Lakers have a lead, in my opinion, because this guy isn't knocking down shots. He can't hit a mid-range. He can't hit a 3-point shot. So I think Jared Vanderbilt should play when the Lakers have a lead, and he's like a close down terminator, terminate and shut them down defensively. I go LeBron and Luca and Ayton, and then you have your two guards, Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart, destroying the perimeter. That is a Terminator team in the fourth quarter right there. Marcus Smart on one side of the perimeter, Jared Vanderbilt on the other side of the perimeter. There's some very, very interesting ideas the Lakers can experiment with. LaRavia, he's smart at reading plays and anticipation. That's how he gets his steals, is he's seeing where the opponent's going to pass the ball to, whatever. So he's got great awareness of his sights on the court. And that's basically how LaRavia gets all of his turnovers and his steals. He's anticipating the next move that the opposition's going to make. So that's what I really like about Jake's game as far as getting steals. Marcus going to get his steals. Jared's going to get his steals. So this Lakers team is much better. There's no more money to be spent right now, but there's like a biannual first tier exception. And basically, for the deal to be completed, it means so Shake Melton's waived. Basically, it's they waive Jordan Goodwin, or they make a trade and they dump Gabe Vincent's salary. So they get Smart. The next step is you waive Milton. Do you waive Goodwin too? You want to try to keep Goodwin too, because he's another great defensive option. But to keep Goodwin, they're going to have to trade Gabe Vincent for that to happen. So the next deal, if they want to keep Goodwin, they're going to have to trade Gabe Vincent. Now, some people are saying that Gabe Vincent can get traded to the loser Phoenix Suns so that they can acquire a Mark Williams or a Richards. Some say he's going to the Phoenix Suns for a center. So we'll see if that's the next deal that the Lakers going to make. But I imagine a trade is going to be made to clear some salary, and you get rid of Vincent, and maybe you get a center out of it. So another center, he looked good in the playoff game, Maxi Kleber. So hopefully he is healthy. Lakers didn't rush him into the lineup, and he plays a role. He knows Luka, so they've got chemistry. So I think you got a pretty deep squad, and I think some guys are going to be short of minutes next year because we have a little too much room on that bench. So it's going to be interesting dynamic to see what happens there. Is Marcus Smart in the starting lineup? Possibly. You go defensive, you put Marcus Smart in the starting five. If you want to go offensive, then that's where you start Austin Reeves. So I don't know what the plan is yet for JJ, but I know he's going to learn his lessons. I know we were much better with JJ Redick than with Darvin Ham. 50-win season, top 3 finish, home court. The foundation has been laid. The Lakers don't give up draft picks and valuable assets. They get the players they need without sacrificing any valuable future assets. So the Lakers are in a good position for years to come. But this is very much about winning a championship this year. They are much better on the inside. They're much better defending the perimeter. And these are the things that matter. You're not going to win a championship with a guy who's not very good defensively, Bradley Beal. That's not the kind of guy you want to have if you're trying to win a championship. Because Bradley Beal don't play defense. So if Lakers were interested in him, Lakers dodged a bullet. These high motor glue guys, you play hard every possession. In one miraculous play in the playoffs that can decide a 2, 3, 4, 5 point game. Those are these glue guys that you want, that they give it all on both ends of the floor. Lakers are a much better basketball team after this entire offseason. They got the guys who can bring it both defensively and offensively. And DeAndre Ayton's been one of the best perimeter defensive bigs in basketball. Lakers going to be a strong-ass team next year. The LA Flippers, this means they're set back another year. And this means that the script is going to call for back-to-back championships for the Lakers, and the Clippers are going to have to sacrifice Bradley Beal and bring in a surprise player to win the championship in 2028. So this Bradley Beal, Norman Powell for Bradley Beal. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. He balled out this offseason, Norman Powell. What y'all been doing with LA Flippers? If I was on the loser Phoenix Suns, I'd quit on the loser Phoenix Suns too. This team is soft all around, from the head coach to all 15 players who got raped by Dallas in that game 7. Then they got raped by Denver in that game 6. They learned nothing. I would leave after that too. Luka's stepping up the leadership role. All these people, Luka's gonna leave. Oh my God, people are gullible. He was actively recruiting Marcus Smart to the Lakers. Does that sound like a guy who's gonna leave? The last part is the extension. The extension was obviously gonna happen. Anyone who thought Luka Goldkin was gonna leave gotta be on drugs. The LA Lakers, Luka International, greatest player ever. Adam Silver got the Bob Bling coming in the first year with Amazon and NBC. And Michael Jordan making some side commentary from time to time. The LA Lakers get their job done. And the best part of all of this is nobody is saying, oh, just hand the Lakers title, just hand next dynasty, because the last 7 years and 7 different champions, we ain't got any dynasties. We have the element of surprise, the uncertainty of outcome. So people are tuned in. They're not assuming that any team out there is going to win. And that is what's going to make this an epic 8th year since 2018, after the Warriors were done and people were talking they were going to quit basketball because it's all Warriors and Cavs before the year even started. That did lot of damage to people. They were planning this from the very beginning. The same matchup in the championship series for 4 straight years, and people were sick and tired, and they were saying that the NBA is imploding, that it is a bad product, that there's no competition. Well, ever since that final matchup in 2018, 7 different NBA champions. And it's been harder to predict an NBA champion than any point in the history of basketball. But there will be a dynasty that emerges from the most competitive era of basketball ever in the history of planet Earth. It is Goatkin LeBron and the LA Lakers. The 2020s, we've had 6 different champions in this decade. The 6 enigma of Goatkin LeBron. 6 different champions this decade since the 2020. Now, it's about Goatkin LeBron James winning 3 rings in a decade. How many times have we seen a team win 3 championships through all of the various decades? The Warriors won 3 in the 2010s. In the 2000s, Lakers won a lot. Shaq era, then Gasol era. So how many was that? That was 5. That was 4. 2010 includes the Lakers championship. That's the 2010 decade. 1990s obviously was Bulls. 1980s, Lakers, Magic. I think he won all of his rings that decade. I think Celtics won 3 that decade. Did Larry Bird win 3 rings? Was there a team that won 3 rings in the 1970s? I mean, there are different teams that won in the 1970s. That was a more competitive decade, the 1970s. 1960s obviously was Celtics. Okay, never mind. Lakers did win 3 championships during 1970s. In 1970 and 1972. Okay, they lost in 1973. That's 2 championships there. Supersonics won 79, Bullets 78, Blazers 77, Warriors 75, Celtics 76. Celtics won 2 championships. The 1970s was the second most competitive decade in the history of basketball. 1970 was Knicks, 71 Bucks, 72 Lakers, 73 Knicks. Knicks won 2 championships that decade. 74 was the Celtics, 75 was the Warriors. Celtics and Knicks both won 2 championships during the 70s. Blazers, 77, Bullets, 78, Supersonics, 1979. So you had a couple teams that won 2 titles in that decade. But I don't think there were 7 different champions in this decade. We're going to see at least 7 different champions in this upcoming decade. The Clippers are going to be the 7th team. Now, the 7 different champions, this includes 2019. 2019 wasn't in this decade. But the Clippers can be that 7th team that we're talking about. I don't think there's been this is the most competitive era. You are witnessing history right now. This is more competitive than the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs have played in how many Super Bowls in the last 6-7 years? Was it 5 Super Bowls in 6 seasons? NBA better. NBA is better than the NFL from a competitive standpoint. You may not like watching, lack of effort, and all these things. Game still has to work on, but you watch a league, and the thing that makes it interesting is a bunch of different teams can win. And what this playoff shows is that there's no automatics. Maybe the Thunder were an automatic, but what happened in the East? No more automatics. And again, fake news. Oh, Jokic's gonna join Luke and the Lakers. They're talking with their head up their ass. They're taking everybody for idiots. In what world is Jokic going to join Luka on the Lakers? NBA wants as many good teams as can be, because if they have as many small markets that are interested in their team, this means that the league as a whole is maximizing fan interest when you have some small market teams win, because everyone's going to support the Lakers no matter what. People are going to support the Celtics no matter what. But if you have your Milwaukee and Denver win the championship, you have to lose up in its odds. In the NBA Finals, you see, you have Indiana in the finals, you have Oklahoma in the finals. That's more small markets that are interested in the game, because they've seen lots of small markets make it to the championship. And if this small market has a chance, then maybe someday my small market has a chance. Well, Jota's death is not a tribute to Portugal, because a South American team is going to win after Pele's death. So this Jota stuff, it's hocus pocus. Could it mean Liverpool wins the Premier League? Possibly. I'm not ready to do Premier League just yet. I did my prediction for the Serie A. I did my prediction for the La Liga. Everybody knows PSG and Bayern are winning the French league and Bundesliga, right? I did Serie A. I did uh, Spanish La Liga. I did, but I'm gonna wait a little bit on the Premier League. See the transfers that come in. Don't forget that Queen is Camacho 26 and Arsenal's 25. So you know, shit happens organically, right? Car accidents do happen. Tragedies happen. So, but no, I have Portugal making the final of the World Cup, but Argentina are winning the World Cup. But I think we've did everything we need to do this off season. I think we're ready to go. But again, they could try to keep Goodwin and trade Vincent, maybe acquire center. That's probably the last order of business. But this Adu guy from Arkansas, this guy's the steal of the draft. LaRavia could be the six-man steal of the offseason. These are some underrated moves. If Gokin the Barn is slowed down defensively, then if Luka ain't good defensively, then you counter it by having as many solid defensive options as can be. Luka Gokin the Barn don't have to guard the number one option all the time. With the more defensive options you have in the perimeter. So that's the plus side of getting the Marcus Smart, getting the LaRavia. Vando is not the number one defensive option now in the perimeter, is he? He has a more limited game offensively than Marcus Smart. And again, my idea, Vandalorian and Marcus Smart together on the floor in the fourth quarter, the shutdown teams. I like that idea. And I'm curious to see what his ideas are, JJ Redick. So I can't wait for the season. I can't wait to see what we're going to do. Is there going to be ups and downs? Absolutely, because it's the LA Lakers and this LA drama land. In the news cycle of the NBA benefits when the Lakers struggle. So there be times of the year where the Lakers do struggle, where the NBA news cycle benefits because the Gokin, the Bond, hating bums are tuning into the news cycle. So this is definitely a soap opera drama, and I can't wait for it because at the end of the day, there's only 2-3 months this matters. Is March, April, May, and June. Lakers have always played well during March and April. They always have played well during these months. The script has worked against us in April, May, and June, but now's the time where they're getting ready to flip the script, to flip the switch. And the best part of all of this is nobody predicting the Lakers to win the championship. Nobody out there. Nobody. But playoff LeBron and Luka, of course, they're going to make every excuse in the book. But are they going to predict the Lakers to win the championship? No, they're going to go with the Thunder. If the Clippers are good, they'll go with the Clippers. Go with the New York Knicks because all the East is bad. Blah, 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 blah. Nah. So you think the Lakers going to play the Thunder in the conference semifinals? That's what you're basically saying. Sorry, if AR-15 played at Oklahoma with the Oklahoma Sooners, if Alex Caruso is on the Thunder, guess what? Lakers Thunder. Lakers are going to knock off the previous champion of basketball. Goat the Bond is the golden king of the Western Conference. But as good as the West has been, there hasn't been a team that's made the finals for 2 straight years this decade. So what if the Thunder and the Lakers, the Thunder trying to make it to the finals 2 straight years for the first time in the West since Kevin Durant and the Warriors, and Goat the Bond puts an end to that. That's what needs to happen right there. And I believe we are playing Denver because Nikola and Luka and international viewers and revenge against the Nuggets, this got to happen. Nuggets, Thunder, and I don't know who the third team is going to be just quite yet. It could be anybody. It could be the T-Wolves. It could. I think the Warriors chapter is over. Goat King the Bond beat the Warriors in 2023. The Warriors chapter is probably over. But okay, that third team with the bus riding cupcake, Goat King the Bond got to whip the ass of Kevin Durant. This is the revenge for the cupcake bus riding, cupcake eating clown joining a team that was already great. This is his personal revenge. So we're going to beat the Rockets. Yeah, the Rockets are the third team. We're going to beat Houston. Revenge against Kevin Durant. Revenge against the T-Wolves. Revenge against the Denver Nuggets. Lots of revenge narratives in the West. I can't wait to see it. Dallas Mavericks is another team. It's the thing about the Wild Wild West. There's too many possibilities for who the Lakers can face in the playoffs, and that's what makes the West very intriguing because you can't go wrong with any of these matchups. If Lakers play Minnesota, the narrative is Minnesota too deep, rebounding the ball. You see any matchup, they're going to doubt the Lakers no matter what. The Denver Nuggets had their number the last few years during this past 5 years. Not really so much with Houston, but King Goat, LeBron, Kevin Durant, final chapter, bus riding bum, gets whipped ass and kicked to the side of the curb. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. At some point, James Harden got to play the Rockets. James Harden is like a face of that team now, the Clippers, because he reduced the salary. You see, he took a salary reduction because he wants to win the championship. James Harden's going to win the championship in 2028. I still like LA 3P. Lakers back-to-back, Clippers win the championship. This is not only for the Wildfires, but this is for the entire city under siege by a fascist government. They're tearing and ripping communities apart. The president committed illegal acts using the military on civilian streets to quash dissent, to target protesters. This is stuff out of dictatorships. They bought the military to quash dissent in the protesters. So I stand with LA. LA strong. This is going to be for LA. Dodgers going to win a championship 1 year. Ohtani got to win a World Series MVP at some point. But they're going to get a title at some point. Lakers definitely going to win back-to-back. He not retired. No matter what people say, he not retiring. LA Flippers win the championship in the new arena. Beyond that, it really is a mystery. How good San Antonio going to be? Lucas could be living in the shadow of Goat King LeBron. Will New York Knicks end the championship drought? Is that a yes or no? Animals can sense danger. They can sense an event like 9/11 or whatever. I mean, they got a good sense of danger. They do. So I don't know what the sign is, yes or no, if the Knicks going to win the championship. According to my furry hairball friend over here. 56 years would give us 2029. So I think 2029 would Minnesota. They're gonna make it to the. It's got to connect to Kevin Garnett. He's the best player in T-Wolves history. 2029, I can see Knicks are a strong team for 2029. The Timberwolves are the other team. I think got a couple good teams, not just to win the championship, but to win the respectful conference too is always a great idea. Again, the big number, if you're trying to get through the fake news media, the key number is, in fact, 42. Freemasons 42. It's not just Freemason, though. The Bond James 42, New York City 42 in the abbreviation. There's a surprise team that wins the East. Everyone all in on the New York Knicks, for example, for the upcoming season, whatever. They have a setback with Mike Brown, then they come back. They wouldn't do anything this offseason, so you wonder. Maybe they have a much bigger offseason next year after a playoff disappointment. LA Lakers is 42, retire in reverse is 42. So sorry, Goki LeBron, hating Bob. He back for a chip. He back for a farewell tour. Everyone's bowing down to the Golden Kid. He retired on top of the world because he's only joking LeBron James. Get in on the action. Get in on the LA. Let Luca, legendary LA, lick your head.